Most people treat dopamine like it's a bad word. They talk about dopamine detox as if it's some drug that we all need to quit. But if you actually quit dopamine, your life would stop. Dopamine is the spark plug of your brain. If you feel flat or gray, it's what makes you feel bright and excited for the day. This is what gives your brain focus fuel. It's how you remember where you put your keys, how you learn new things. If you're a new mom, it actually helps to regulate how your body produces breast milk. It controls your blood pressure and how your stomach digests food. It even helps to regulate voluntary movement. Today, I'm going to show you the dopamine boosting African foods that flip your switch to on. So dopamine isn't the problem. The problem is that we're chasing cheap dopamine. It's the quick hits from our phones, while our bodies are starving for the real dopamine that helps us to perform all of these functions throughout the day. I'm not a doctor, I'm just somebody who loves learning, and I've spent the last 10 years sharing what I learned about African foods to help others live healthier lives. And I'm going to say it up front, I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of a couple of scientific words. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. To understand how to fix your mood, you have to understand how dopamine is made. It's a 3-stage assembly line, and if any part of the line is broken, the switch just stays off. Think of your brain like a Lego set. To build a dopamine molecule, your brain needs a specific starting block called tyrosine. If you don't eat enough foods with tyrosine, your brain literally cannot make the chemical that makes you feel happy or focused. You're not lazy, you're not broken, you might just be missing this key Lego block. Foods that give us tyrosine as a starting block are foods like milk, yogurt, meats, beef, pork, chicken, soybeans, tofu, and fish. Tyrosine doesn't just become dopamine on its own. It has to go through a conversion process. This is what we're going to talk about in this next section. So first, we need the power tools. Even if you have the Lego bricks, you need the tools to snap them together. To turn tyrosine into the next phase, your body needs iron. Iron is essential because it acts as a cofactor for the enzyme tyrosine hydroxylase. This enzyme requires iron for the chemical reaction that converts it into tyrosine L-DOPA. Then, magnesium is required for the final stage. Magnesium binds the enzymes responsible for the processing and subsequent packaging of the dopamine for release into your body. In African diets, we source these minerals from things like pumpkin or wild melon seeds and cowpeas. Other African sources of these nutrients include moringa, which is extremely high in iron, and baobab powder, which is high in magnesium. Next, we have to talk about your gut. In 2026, scientists have confirmed that 90% of the signals for your neurotransmitters come from your gut microbiome. So think of your fermented foods like iru, ugba, gari. Think of those foods as the delivery truck. Your gut produces postbiotics when we eat these foods. These are the chemical signals that are made by the healthy bacteria during the fermentation process. These signals travel through the vagus nerve to tell your brain to lower inflammation. The vagus nerve is what carries signals between your brain, your heart, and your digestive system. They are a key part of your parasympathetic system. Your parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for calming the body, conserving energy, and managing functions like digestion and heart regulation. It acts as the counterbalance to the sympathetic fight or flight system. If your body is inflamed, the dopamine switch stays off. I did a whole video on how inflammation ruins your health, so you can go watch that if you want a more detailed explanation on how to clear those inflammation signals. But for this video, just know and understand that when you eat traditional fermented foods like iru or dawa dawa, you feed the good bacteria in your stomach brain. When those bacteria are happy, they send a signal up the telephone wire to your head to release dopamine. Other great African food ferments include gari when you prepare it traditionally, and mursik, which is fermented milk. Now we get to the VIP entrance. Remember how I said there are stages to building the Lego set? Most foods only give you the raw plastic, But velvet beans are the biological shortcut. They contain high levels of L-DOPA. This is the pre-assembled base of the Lego set. When you eat velvet beans, the L-DOPA travels through your system and crosses the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the brain, an enzyme in your brain converts it directly into active dopamine. This bypasses the usual waiting in line that the tyrosine has to go through. Having said that, velvet bean is not something that people should use casually or without proper preparation and guidance. Its relevance in modern clinical studies is mostly tied to Parkinson's disease. Remember at the beginning of the video when I said that dopamine is linked to many functions in your body? It includes voluntary movement. Standard Parkinson's treatments contain L-DOPA because it helps to improve movement symptoms like stiffness and slowness. This is why velvet bean has attracted a lot of medical interest. If you found this video useful so far, please like the video and share it with someone you think would appreciate this too. Raw African cacao contains a very special molecule called PEA, phenylethylamine. Think of PEA as the security guard for the dopamine factory. You see, as soon as your brain makes dopamine, there are two thief enzymes called MAO and COMT, whose sole job is to steal the dopamine off the shelf and to break it down. You may ask why? Well, it's because the brain requires homeostasis. Your brain is designed to prevent overstimulation. It naturally clears out neurotransmitters to keep your system balanced and safe from chemical spikes. However, PEA steps in and tells those thieves to back off. It keeps the dopamine toys on the shelf for a bit longer so that you can stay focused. Now for the most important part of the entire system. Your factory needs electricity to run. In 2026, research has shown that vitamin D from the sun actually activates genes, specifically the TH gene that produces the enzymes needed to build dopamine. Sunlight isn't just a mood lifter, it's a genetic instruction. When the UV hits your skin, it triggers a cascade that tells your DNA to start printing more of the workers that convert the food into brain power. Without enough vitamin D, your dopamine assembly line literally slows down at the genetic level. I believe it's truly a day wasted when we don't get to go outside and soak up the sun, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Movement and sunshine aren't just exercise. They are the power supply you need to fill you up with the dopamine that is required to live an enjoyable and vibrant life. So if you've been feeling flat or gray lately, it might be because you are missing a few of the raw materials or the sunlight that is required to run your dopamine system. Let me know in the comments, did you get your dose of sunshine today? And if you've enjoyed this video, I think you will enjoy this next one. Thanks for your attention and I'll see you in the next one.